Good evening, everyone. You know what day it is. You know what time. It's time for Hard Talks with a Blonde and a Hippie. I'm your trippy hippie, Alicia, jumping on the mic from good old Utah, here with my co-host.
Your favorite blonde, Sarah.
And we're joined this evening by another epic, dynamic duo, a local podcast, Hopelessly Unromantic. You might be familiar with them.
What's
Allie and
going on,
Andy.
Hello. I'm Allie.
You know, it's funny. It's a different dynamic because usually I'm doing what you're doing, doing the whole introduction and introducing Allie. And that's usually what she says. Hi.
I say hi.
I'm Allie. You're so freaking cute, too. And let me tell you, I love your theme song. Every time I hear it,
It's catchy, right?
I know.
It's a little, when the beat drops, you kind of just start head
I
bobbing.
vibe to it,
I like you.
right?
Ayo.
Yeah, definitely go give these guys a
welcome to
listen on
Hopefully
Spotify and all your major platforms.
Yeah. Oh, God.
All the things. We also do it on YouTube, too. We record video.
Yeah, you film them. That is like a goal for us here because I just don't have the capacity to do that right now.
You know,
Yeah.
it's a lot of work. You got to get ready.
It just
got
adds
Honestly,
but
though.
people like it, though. We've heard the feedback that we've gotten from some people is just like, one of my friends says it just hits different when you watch your facial expressions and see Allie's reactions to the bullshit that I say.
I mean,
Yeah.
that makes sense because then you can like see what we're doing. Like, because I was on like this.
Yeah.
No one knows what I'm doing.
Yeah.
So
And most of the facial expressions Sarah does pull are absolutely incredible.
Yeah.
You're missing out. So goals one day. But you know what you're listening to. It's an 18 and up podcast. We curse like sailors, talk everything controversial, difficult, or taboo. Sarah is a saint no more. Get off your high horse.
I'm getting back on there. I'm
Why?
going to climb right
Since
up.
when? I haven't noticed a
I'm
change.
having a baby.
Your baby's going to come out saying fuck, so...
I know.
All that being said, friends, I don't want to be responsible for your children saying fuck or goddamn, so tune in on your own time, etc. Tonight, I am drinking,
Welcome.
how would you pronounce this? I'm infamous for my terrible drink making, so I'm glad that you're on tonight because I know that you make delicious looking beverages.
Yeah, we do eye candy. Andy's drink of the day.
Damn it. We just do drink of the day.
I love it. So these are the Shades Brewing. It's a pina colada flavored American style sour ale. It sounds delicious. Let's
That
give it a
sounds
taste.
fancy.
Try one of my own. Is this your drink of the day then?
This is my drink of the day.
Okay.
Mine's water.
Yeah, I've got some Monster Electrolyte sugar-free energy water.
Cheers to you,
Look at
girlfriend.
us go.
Cheers to you there.
Yes.
No, so this is woo
Never mind, no
Yeah.
cheers today.
Yeah, that went down.
salute.
That's a party foul. I've ever seen one.
No,
You know I'm real good
This
at
is what I
this.
deal with.
and you're so lucky because I recognized Allie kind of in a backwards way. I found your podcast because I think you messaged me on Instagram, and then I started snooping on you, and I was like, "This girl's beautiful and she's funny," and I was like, "Why does she look so familiar?" And I could not place it to save my life until I talked to our mutual friend Serena, and she's like, "Girl, you've met her at like multiple festivals," and I'm like, "Oops, was I there for that?" She's like, "We have pictures together." I'm like,
Yeah,
Just not like all the way there.
but you know, it's fine.
She dabbled.
I
in
was
a
in
few
another
things.
land. Yeah, but this is pretty good. What do you think?
I think it's
This.
good. Yeah. It's a little foo-foo.
Andy likes all the gross stuff. I like foo-foo stuff.
I like beer, so I'll literally drink anything. And in fact, I'm still waiting, fam, if you're listening, for someone to hop on to the Hard Talks crew and be my professional bartender because it's never going to get any better. I was trying to make mixed drinks last night and people hated me. So.
No,
They did?
I just put too much alcohol in
I was
it.
going to say, is that
Same.
because it's like 70% vodka?
So
like,
you
why
make
you
a
hate it?
strong beverage.
So it's like a splash of juice. You're like, hey,
Yep.
So
drink up, bitch.
Stronger, better.
do you have the same experience then? Because sometimes, like when people come in, we'll make mixed drinks, and I'll just fuck them up. But I do it anyways, and by the end of it, I'm so shit faced when I go back to record, edit, I'm like, oh, dear Jesus, Alicia, like, just save yourself while you're still ahead because
Her accent really comes out.
Yeah, no, there's been days like that where we've recorded and I'm like, what is wrong with me? And why am I laughing like that?
and it's like you hear yourself, I'm like, damn, I sound faded. Like,
Yeah.
So for all those of our listeners, I hope you know that we are. And I hope you have a cold beverage in hand drinking with us.
You know what sucks? I haven't drank on this podcast.
You're right. You've been
Because I've been pregnant the whole time.
Don't worry, you're almost
Damn
there.
it.
Sarah would just feed all of her drinks to me in the beginning when
I was
she
like,
was hiding
I
it.
take a sip. I'm like, oh, you should try this. I'm like, you just want to like drink it for me?
And so
I gotta drive home.
For several episodes, I listened back. I'm like, no wonder I was so fucking drunk.
My bad.
When we first started, it was like a little more nerve wracking. So we would pregame
Yeah.
like a couple of shots before we even started recording.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
almost regrettable too. Like you're like, I don't remember what I said, but hey, you guys, if you're drinking with us, I promise we're like even that much more funny.
That much more,
Get your cold ones out. Tonight, I wanted to have Andy and Allie on because we wanted to do a podcast episode about podcasting because
Ooh.
I remember before I started out on this epic adventure because there was a lot of planning and a lot of
The
stuff
first 3 episodes we recorded were a shit show.
You're welcome.
And they were
Heard
never
our first.
published.
And they'll never, those were never published. Yeah, so we had to rebrand several times because people start and they're like, oh, yeah, like I want to be on a podcast, probably
You
for the
guys-
clout.
You had a third, right? You guys had a third co-host, and then that didn't work out or something
We've
like
had
that.
like 3 co-hosts.
Brett
Oh,
the boy.
gotcha.
3
Yeah.
different types, 3 different times. We have 3 different co-hosts.
Oh, I didn't
Yeah.
know that you had that many.
Oh, yeah.
I remember the guy that you started with.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's just been kind of crazy. And it's just funny looking back from when I started. There's a lot of naivety that went into starting this show without any experience in
There really is, 'cause people don't realize it's a fun
audio
idea.
engineering. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a fun idea. Let's start a podcast. And then you think of topic ideas. That's actually kind of easy to think of too.
Mm-hmm.
But once you actually get down to it, recording, editing, making it sound good,
Yeah.
like it's actually a lot of work.
Well,
and then
and
you
it's-
throw in the video too. It's a whole nother element.
Well, and I want to ask you about that because I know that there's a lot of work that goes into like syncing the video with your audio, especially like we don't do a lot of cutting or editing on the show anymore, but say you do have to cut and edit, like how is syncing up your video?
Depending on the program, it's not too bad because you can, if you have the camera or the audio on the camera recording at the same time you're recording that, you can actually sync those together in the program.
That's great. That's
So that-
great.
Otherwise,
See, we'll have a side chat at the end of this
Yeah.
because like I just need someone who knows. Like I got this based off of a recommendation from Dre Rocka U92. I've been so lucky to have him kind of guide me throughout this.
yeah, that's the same one we use. It's been great.
Yeah, it does so much. And I learn something new every time I sit down to record. It's cool.
But I made her label her buttons.
Oh, I had to label my buttons.
We need to do the same thing because Ellie will hit like all 8 by the time she gets the one she wants.
Okay, I'm like,
Yes.
ready, drink of the day. Psh, nope, not that
Wah,
one.
wah, wah. It's this one.
She only like the clapping one. She brings out and up. I'm like,
Well, we're like
All
on
right.
some deep tangent too. We're talking about how much we respect like single mothers and how they just
Oh,
do the damn
yes.
thing. And then I'm literally like, we had a scary button on here and it's like do 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 do, and I'm like, y'all know what I meant, like golf claps for you. So
It's fun.
that's cool. And that's the most fun thing for me is like this has really become my passion and I love learning something new about it. But yeah, it's not a walk in the park and podcasting is not for everybody because it really is a commitment, especially with the co-host situation.
Yeah.
Right.
You guys had a good start because how long have you been together now? You've been dating for how long?
Over a year.
Nice.
Nuh-uh. It hasn't
Well,
even been a year yet.
Officially not a year
Get it
yet,
right.
but we've been fucking. We've been fucking for over a year.
Hey, we've been in affiliation. So.
Officially in August. a
Yeah.
year.
Yeah. And I want you to share that story. It's on their first episode, so you definitely need to go listen to it because it's pretty great. But how did you guys meet?
Oh, we met on Tinder.
Yeah.
Tinder success story.
Yeah,
Decided
exactly.
to swipe right on you.
I'd
Yeah.
like to see the statistics on those, like how often it works out.
On
you know what
Tinder
I mean?
leading to a relationship.
You know, we
Yeah.
actually did that. We put statistics. I cannot say that word.
Statistics.
Statistics.
It's fine. I say stamina wrong.
I can't say
But
extraordinary.
you just said it right.
I think it's like one of those words like gloom or glum where some people are like, I can't even, it's extraordinary.
Right.
For me, I'm like, it's extraordinary. And for me to like
Extraordinary.
make it come together is just a real struggle. I
Right.
just don't use that word.
Well, we did do those on the first one, right? It was on the first one. Yeah, we did those.
We had a lot of statistics on like who uses Tinder, age groups, and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I think we had some statistics about success rates.
Yeah, but I mean, we're a success story.
Yeah. And you saw the
It's,
you saw the profile picture and you were just like, yep.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, the one that made me swipe is she had her like little rave outfit with like a bunny
It
tail.
was the one I saw you at.
Booty cheeks were showing, and I
Oh,
was
of
like, yeah,
course.
that's a swipe.
You're like,
yeah.
That's
hello?
the only way to go.
Yeah. So he goes, "Hey, you want to come over and like Netflix and fuck?"
And you're like, I'm already on my way.
Like I got your address off of like Google. It's fine. I'm on my way.
No,
I'm not
It was very
creepy.
romantic. We went and got
Yeah.
Chick-fil-A, went and watched movies
That's
together.
my favorite place.
But this was like also beginning of quarantine, so like there wasn't shit to do anyway.
Yeah.
But yeah, we were just watching some movies, and I was just innocently
Yeah,
trying to watch
whatever,
the
shut
movie, and she was just she had an agenda. Took me up to the room, took advantage.
Yeah,
so.
whatever. You said you want to go upstairs, and I said, yeah.
That's all the persuasion she needed.
Yeah,
She
Tinder.
came in ready, hot and ready. Let's
Yeah.
go.
She's like, I got you.
wasn't my intention at all. I was like, yeah, let's go read the Bible upstairs in my bedroom.
I also have the copy of the Book of Mormon you can borrow if you need it.
We got you.
But yeah, that's how we met. And then, you know,
guys had a lot in common though, right?
yeah. I don't know. Do we have a lot in common?
I don't know. Maybe.
I don't know.
We're both like going to raves.
Yeah, and I know you guys are both pretty fit, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
we go to the gym
Yeah.
together.
That's
we do
nice.
like our meal prep and exercise plans and stuff.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
great.
It's commitment.
I need that from somebody.
It is.
Oh.
You know,
Yeah.
it was hard. It's a hard commitment because I started it and I said, "Do you want to do it?" And he's like, "No, it's not going to make me any more whatever."
Motivated.
Yeah. And now look
Or
at
it
it.
actually did. It's like this online trainer. We pay like some guy who creates our meal plans, our workout plans, all
That's
that.
great.
And then he just kind of monitors our progress
Yeah.
over an app. And I didn't think that was going to motivate me, but it did. We've been sticking
Yeah.
to it. So,
Well,
That's
it's nice to almost have something hold you accountable.
Yep.
You know
which
what
is
I mean?
what it is. Yeah. A little
Something
bit
to
of
work
accountability.
towards.
Yeah.
Make goals for you. Because I don't always make the best goals for myself. What I'm saying. But
My goal is to read a book a week. So
well, you read
a good
erotica
one.
novels, so
Girl.
it's not like we're being educated
cannot
on.
read.
Like a 50 Shades of Grey type.
No, we've talked about this. It is not like that. Is like vanilla for fucking Sarah.
I mean, it's fine.
It's fine. Whatever.
You know, we get into
don't
all the
kink
sex
shame.
things. We get into all the things.
Yeah,
you
a lot
know?
of our topics revolve around like sex and
Yeah.
just being open
There
about
have
it
been
and stuff like that.
A few
You gotta be.
episodes that I published, and I'm like, man, I can't edit that out because I said I wouldn't. And then I'm like, my grandma will text me and be like, "Oh, honey,
Oh, you should have heard all the shit.
you
I
made
got.
me blush," and I'm like, "Yeah, which part? I told you not to listen to episodes 10, 12, and 14." And she's like, "Well, I heard that some things happen to you sexually."
Yes. Oh my God.
And I'm like, "It's all new to me too, Grandma. We're on an adventure together."
Freaking love your grandma.
You know,
But-
my mom supports, but has decided not to listen anymore, and your parents don't really listen anymore.
Yeah, my dad, he supports, he talks about it to everybody. Like, I'll walk into his building and be like, "Oh, I heard about the podcast. You should have your dad on it, Tomcat, the Italian stallion." I'm like, "Oh, God, that'd be an episode from hell," you know? Like, but, I mean, he's proud, but I don't think that's a good thing. He doesn't need to hear about,
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, that's
You're
me
getting
too.
a certain thing done.
it's all for entertainment, friend.
I don't let my grandma listen to this.
She would have a stroke.
Literally, she probably would. Honestly.
I don't think she's ever even heard you curse.
Nope. I'm very like this shirt. She gets weird about my core shirt. Like, let's be honest, people.
So it's funny. My stepmom actually waxed Andy's penis.
She gave me a Brazilian.
Oh,
Brazilian.
How
How did
my
that?
God.
How did that go for real though? Because we just
I
had
loved it.
someone on our bitch bonus, Bethany. She does like sugaring for a living, and she was saying like, because she's from LA, she's like, I had a lot of manzillions out there, but since moving to Utah, it's not a common thing. But you know, she shares some of her stories and how like you really got to get in there, and
She's like flipping it up.
how was it for you? Was it super painful?
Oh, it hurts. Yeah, it hurts like a bitch.
Yeah, I mean, like, was it worth it after?
Yeah, the result was worth it.
Okay.
Like the crack.
Yeah.
Not gonna lie.
Yeah.
If any guy's thinking about it, it's
Okay,
it's
the
worth
butt
it.
crack though is the least painful part.
It really is. Because me and Sarah both had
You were freaking out.
full Brazilians done by Bethany within the last couple weeks for our birthdays. And whew, it's a quick pain and it
Right.
subsides fast, but that horseshoe of death,
Wasn't that
Up
bad?
top, like up in the
Yeah,
little-
yeah,
in
like
the
right.
pubic bone area. That's the worst.
Oh my God. It was
Honestly,
intense.
like the lips for me.
The lips hurt.
I like, and if you saw
If only
this-
you could see the hand
yeah,
motions
it's
going on.
like they're flailing in the
Yeah.
wind or
Like,
something.
it honestly wasn't that bad. Like I thought it was gonna be a lot worse than it was.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, when you're
Being
done,
pregnant,
you're
too,
kind of
I'm
like,
like-
once it's all done, you're kind of like, all right, that wasn't too bad. But in the moment, like it was fucking horrible.
Yeah. Well,
Have you
I'm
got it done a second time yet? Because it's not as bad the second
That's
time.
what
No.
she
I
keeps
promise.
telling me. I think I was so nervous because she's been one of my best friends for so long. But it was funny hearing her perspective because she was talking about Sarah's and she's like, Sarah did so good. And I was like, better than me?
Oh,
she's
yeah.
like, she said the exact same thing to you because I was like, you're doing so good. And she's like, better than Alicia. And she's like, she's so cute because she can't see her vagina right
I
now.
can't. I was like,
So she's like, does it look cute down there? Like,
I have to like lift around, like kind of like.
Just get a mirror, a handheld mirror.
She's like, I have a mirror for you. I'm like, yeah, I can't see anything.
no.
This belly's in the way.
Oh, that's so funny though. But I'm glad that you guys like have had such a great year together, almost a year. You know,
Yeah.
it sounds
almost
like
a year.
you've really built a lot together, and I know you have a daughter.
Right.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that was a long, hard thing because when you're a single mom, like dating is hard. It's really hard.
Oh, girl, I'm really going through it right now.
Yeah,
I
I feel it. So it's hard because you want that family dynamic so bad. And I know she does because she doesn't have her dad at all. So she wants that father figure so bad. So I was willing to like do anything to get it. So I was going to like talk to anybody and whatever, like jump right into it.
Right.
Hey, meet my daughter, you know?
Right. That's
So-
Can I bring up a good
Yeah.
point really quick? So I've been talking about this all weekend because I feel like when you go through, you know, being single for so long, like it's such a good thing for you to get to know yourself, etc. But when you start to date and open yourself up to someone, it's kind of like, oh my God, this attention, this validation, I haven't received it in so long. It's like the driving force behind anything. It feels so good to be wanted or needed.
Yeah.
That I almost myself I almost put like a blind eye to all the red flags because it's like, but I don't want to like lose that companionship. I've been alone so long. It's been nice to
Yeah.
have that.
Is
You
it
need to
worth
listen
it?
to the red flags,
I
friends.
I might have a different perspective on this too because I'm divorced. I was married for
Oh,
like 4
really?
years. Yeah. And after the fact, the red flags were way too apparent for me to the point where like as soon as they came up, I'm like, nope.
Yeah.
I just stop talking, cut them
Right.
off, and move on.
But for me, I've been single almost 3 years. Like I've had my flings and
Right.
one night stands in between, but this, oh man, we're getting deep. Okay, so I started
Hard
seeing
talks.
someone a little seriously, and like we vibe it really well in party settings and have a good time. But he's really weird about the fact that I have a kid, and that's so hard being a single parent because it's like, well, he's my end all be all. Like he's
Yep.
number one always. And it's almost hard because it's like, man, I'm going to have to end this anyways because it's not going anywhere. And I don't even necessarily know if it's you that I'm going to miss, but it's going to be that attention and the validation and just talking to someone every
Yeah.
day. Does that make sense?
Yeah. No, I totally get it. Yeah, and the thing about me and Andy is, like we said in the beginning, we hung out to fuck. That's what we did. We had no expectations for each other.
But you had a certain level of transparency, and that's great.
Yeah, so it was just easy, and it wasn't complicated.
Well, nothing was ever forced. There was never
Yeah.
any pressure to be like, hey, we need to be this. So we just hung out.
And the thing about
That's how it should be.
yeah,
That's nice. Yeah, you're like no expectations. You're just like, well, you want to come over for the night,
right.
Flow.
And the thing about me with Aaliyah is I was not forcing anything this time. I didn't have to. It was more of like he would just come around for family settings. And then we started going like in groups of things with all three of us. And then now I'm moving in with him in a 1-bedroom apartment, you know? So it's like their relationship had to build at a certain level, and I needed to let them take their time with that.
Absolutely.
You can't force that. And to be honest with you, if a guy in the beginning is saying like how he's all about the kid, like it's usually just kind of they're trying to have you see what they want you to see,
Right.
So that they can kind of just get in
Right.
with you, you know. So
Absolutely.
Yeah.
because that takes time regardless. Like you can't force a relationship with a child,
No, and it has to be very organic.
right?
You know what I mean? I think you having that experience of being married and divorced that has maybe like given you more perspective, and like because a lot of guys, especially in our age group, our age bracket, mid-20s, early 30s,
Right.
I attract men who like to party, and there's like no off switch. I
get
need,
on Tinder.
Oh, there you go.
Hey, yeah.
Hey,
It works.
I might do
It's
it.
a dating site. Ever like there's eHarmony. Like, what's the difference?
I'll get on Christian Mingle.
Farmers only.
That's my jam right there. That's
need,
where we're
you
going.
need to like
Black
get
people
away. Yeah, you need to get like away from like your raversonly.com.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
just curiosity, where are you meeting most of the guys that you're dating these days?
raves.
There it is.
Exactly. Isn't it so funny and so true that when you meet someone at a music festival or even a concert or even like a club bar setting, odds are when you meet again, they're going to be completely different.
Yep.
Yep.
It's true.
Yep.
I dated some like that. Only lasted a couple times.
Yeah. But I mean, like, with my experience in getting out there again, like, the fact that I have a kid is terrifying to a lot of people. And I think it says a lot about your character that didn't bother you at all. I mean, like, obviously you said that you were just down to fuck, but something organic was there and it grew and...
Yeah. And, not only was I married, but she had a kid. My ex had a kid.
Okay.
Whose dad was never involved, like in and out of prison, like one of those. So I raised him since he was 2. He's like 11 now.
Wow.
And I still see him. We just dropped him off before coming here.
That's
so
awesome.
it's a different.
I love that.
So it's different in the way that I'm just realistic about the situation because I've kind of already dealt with it. So
Well, and like, people have lives. Like, shit happens, You might be coming into a brand new chapter of their life or at the end of a really bad one,
Exactly.
It doesn't, you can't judge a person based off of the chapter that you walk in on,
Yep.
Especially
too.
with like our age too. Like it's gonna be like hard to find someone who hasn't been divorced or doesn't have kids
Especially in this day and age, divorce is so common that,
or having kids. Like,
it's almost like weird for me to meet someone and they're like, oh yeah, like both of my parents are married. They're going on like 30 years.
like what?
That's almost like, wow. You and I have talked
You're
about
a unicorn.
that. I'm like, that's good for you. And it's
Clappy,
like,
clap, clap.
I don't know.
That's just weird.
But all that being said, like, you guys are awesome. I love your podcast.
thanks.
I've been listening since the beginning. I wanted to know, like, how the idea came about, how it blossomed when you guys sat down and were like, let's do a podcast.
Yeah. So basically, Andy streams. He's got his own gaming little corner, all the things. Well, I've been wanting to do a podcast for a while. I talked to my friends about it, and it was just never like, let's do it. Okay, let's do it. It never happened.
Yeah.
So Andy's like, I just want to do something. I was like, well, let's do a podcast. Well, we started doing it, and he realized he has this amazing podcast voice, and it sounds so soothing and sexy.
That is the first thing I said. I was like, he sounds like he could like read audiobooks.
Yeah.
I would listen to that.
Only if they're sexual.
Only if they're.
Yeah.
I don't listen to anything else.
Any
It's not
publishers out
erotica.
there for erotica novels, hit me up. I'll do this.
Yeah.
So he inserts his throbbing.
Yeah, honestly.
Oh my God.
Member.
Dripping wet.
Killer.
So yeah, so we honestly had no idea. You know how when you start a podcast, you like to set the dynamic around who your listeners are going to be. And we had a hard time doing that for a while, and until recently we haven't figured out what our podcast was really about and how to explain it until like a couple weeks ago.
People ask us, they're like,
Yeah.
so what is it about? And we're always kind of like, well, we talk about this and this and this.
Yeah. I'm literally
Whatever.
like, we talk everything controversial, difficult, or taboo.
Yeah.
That sums up pretty much life.
So that's
Yeah.
what a podcast is. Unless you have like a direct, like, oh, we just talk like crimes.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
everything else is just like literally this, like, we
Yeah.
just ramble
No,
most of the time.
Yeah, not that it had to be that narrowed down or that specific, but like we just didn't know how to like. we talk about a lot
Yeah.
of sexual shit. I don't
Yeah,
know.
we do.
Have you listened to
Because-
Call Her Daddy? We're like her.
Yeah. I love Call Her Daddy.
I love.
Yeah. Anyway, so I don't know. From the beginning, though, from our first episode, I was so awkward. And then you guys started bringing out yours, and I listened to your first entry thing, and I was like, Andy, we need to delete it and like make it sound like this because this is terrible. So we actually redid ours because I listened to yours.
Oh, our pilot.
yours
she's
sounded-
talking.
yeah,
She's
the
talking
pilot.
about our intro, our episode 0.
Yeah.
Because yours sounded so good. And I
Oh
was
my
like,
God. Thank you so
we
much.
suck.
I literally recorded that in my closet with like my headphones.
Well, it sounded great.
it was last minute, and I was like, I think I need like a prelude to all of this.
Yeah.
And we dropped the first episode the very next day. So thank you so much.
You're welcome.
That made me feel so good. And it's so, I mean, you guys can relate. It's such a trip to bump into someone or get an email or a comment or whatever, and they'll be like, I love your show. Like, I love what you talk about. And it's almost like, oh my God, like people are actually listening.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
We have
Yeah.
listeners.
Yeah, it's crazy just that like you're making something and people love it. People
yeah.
are giving
Yeah.
the feedback on it. And then we had one of our episodes, we had Tony. I don't know if you heard that one.
Yeah.
The tripod Tony guy. And he had people come up to him when he was still working at that bar and being like, "Oh, you're tripod Tony." He's like, "What the fuck?"
He's like, what?
It's a cool experience, especially like I know Allie and I were messaging each other one day, but I was like, I literally had to stop looking at our stats because it became an obsession. I'd
Yeah,
hop
we had
on
a-
every day, like sometimes multiple times a day in the very beginning, and I was like, oh my God, I have one more download in Hialeah Gardens, Florida.
Yeah.
Like what the fuck?
we had to stop that too because it got almost what's the word, like discouraging.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because we'd be like, why isn't this episode like have this many yet? You know.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And shit like that. So we just kind of made the decision like, all right, let's
Yeah.
let's not
Yeah.
look at it every 5 minutes.
Well, and I felt the same way because like we had a Instagram influencer on, Miss Jakely George. She has now like
Oh, yeah.
26,000 followers on Instagram. And I knew that episode would get the most listens or streams, but like now, like what, how many weeks after the fact, like it's like we have 800 downloads on that episode alone, and the rest are like
25.
no. Now we have one episode that's like
It's
lower.
interesting to see.
Yeah, and it's
Yeah.
like, well, okay, what could I have done about this episode differently? Like, is it the way that it does. It becomes discouraging because
Yeah.
you totally start to
So
spiral.
That's
and-
funny that you bring that up because we were doing guests for a while because we were like, well, let's bring up like small businesses and we can get more listeners that
yeah,
way.
promote. Yeah,
So we found that we lost our, like us in our podcast because we were focusing so much on these guests that we couldn't even like be ourselves when we were recording.
you kind of
Right.
brought that up earlier. When you have a certain guests on, you want to make it topics that they can talk about.
right.
So that way they chime in, and you don't really make it like your guys' uniqueness.
Right. And to that too, like I've had a couple people on, like Captain Clement, great guy, but religious. He doesn't drink. And so I didn't drink during that
Right.
episode. And then there was another episode we followed up on. I was doing an interview with Tyler from Spain. And it was recorded at like 11 because I was accommodating to the 8-hour time difference.
Yep.
And I was like, I have a whole day filled with shit I need to do. So I
Yeah.
didn't drink during that episode. And they just so happened to publish back to back. And I said this on Deshaun's episode and the last one we recorded, but it kills me because this guy from Texas is like, is it still hard talks? We drinking? And I'm like, I'm talking hard shit. Like,
Yeah.
get your drink out. Like, you drink for me, dude.
Right.
In fact, I'll take a sippy for you, George, from, where was it? Austin?
It was like Texas somewhere.
Austin, Texas, yes.
Yeah. So, yeah, we just basically, we honestly took a break. We didn't record for like a month
I saw that.
I was so mentally and just like, I couldn't for
Yeah.
a minute.
Yeah.
We needed a break to see that, like, if we wanted to continue doing it. Because I was to the point I was like mentally breaking down. I
Yeah.
was done.
You were burnt out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. It became
we,
something that was stressful to do rather than fun. So
Right.
that's why
Right,
like,
and
we need to
that-
like step back for a second.
That defeats the whole purpose. Exactly. And we've had that hard talk too is like, is it worth it? Are we doing it? And she's like, it's going to be worth it one day. It's
Yeah.
a slow
Right.
burn.
yeah, it is. It is.
Starting a podcast. But I'm glad that, you were self-aware and you took that time because you guys just came back with an even bigger force. And
yeah, well, we kind of experienced some things with us as a couple anyways. And so we were kind of like doing new things, and it kind of heightened a lot of things with us and helped us grow a little bit stronger. So now we're able to worry about that. And that's not as big of a deal now because we took time to just like figure out us. So it's been awesome. We like it now. We're just doing us for a while. We want to bring guests on again because I still want to bring you guys on, of course.
For sure.
But it's doing guests every episode. I was like, I'm done accommodating for all these people, and I'm done not being myself.
Yeah, and
So-
schedules are hard. Schedules are really hard.
Right.
Accommodating to everyone, especially when you have 4 to 5 people on. Like you start growing the group conversation.
hmm
And
Or needing to get that content out, and they're like, "Oh, we can't make it." And you're like,
yeah, so like I've
Yeah.
run into some scheduling issues.
Thanks.
And that's a big thing too. Like we sit down, obviously we want to be authentic and genuine, and we want to talk about raw shit. That's why we don't like to cut. But we recorded an episode about like what's your junior high experience look like, and I was so sloshed in it. I hated it, and I was like, I'm not publishing this. We agreed on that. So I was an episode behind in content, and trying to like pull someone to come on, or what, if we're ever in that bind again, we'll just sit down and do it ourselves
I
because
thought the little tangent we had earlier was great.
yeah,
A little 9-minute tangent about
talking about
13-year-olds getting
child
pregnant.
brides. I don't know how great that is.
It's not great, but like just like me and you together, like we.
Sound checks turn
That's
into
what I mean.
bloopers.
So like how you're saying like that was great, like that was fun. That's kind of like how we're feeling about it now. It's like
Yeah.
now that we're just back to doing just our thing again,
Yeah.
it's like so much more fun and
Yeah.
less
Well, and
pressure
it's
again.
important to regroup and like refocus the lens
And not having to
sometimes.
like worry about other people.
Yeah.
Too, like how
Yeah.
you think
Yep.
of yourselves and you were
Just
like,
back to us, and then doing, you guys probably know, but like doing it every week is just a lot of work. It takes up your weekend. So we've got back to like recording almost all 4 episodes for the month in one weekend. And
So
then
we don't
just,
have to worry about
and
it.
then
It's
just
so
editing
nice.
throughout the month, and then just doing like little bonus audio only episodes
Yeah.
throughout the week and stuff like
Yeah.
that.
Well, I mean, so we try to record every other Friday because I have every other Friday off from my main job.
Mhm.
But that's hard for a lot of people because a lot of people work during the day. And so then we try to accommodate for the evenings, and then it gets pushed to Saturdays, and then it gets pushed to Sundays. And it's like, I understand, but, I want to try and get back to that schedule realistically because we pre-record typically 2 episodes at a time. So we're always a week ahead in content. So we have that week
Good.
off the
Yeah.
next weekend because that was my biggest thing. I was like, Sarah, if we're going to build something, we have to do it with some tact. Like this
Yeah.
is something that I'm passionate about. This is something that I have dreamt of doing for so long. I don't want to get burnt out on it. So I've been trying to be
Right.
really careful, but I absolutely understand when you include other people, when it's not just you and your co-host, you're dealing with a completely different dynamic of things. And it's also, if you're a little more crass like we are, you also filter yourself because you're worried,
Yeah.
what if my humor doesn't come across the way I'd like it to, Sarah?
We kind of have
Me
that,
every day.
Yeah. And
Every day.
it's like you want to pull people on and you want to network and you want to grow, especially if they have a big following base.
Yeah.
Granted, like what you're pulling them on to talk about is interesting and important, but it just kind of gets convoluted.
Yeah.
And it does. The feedback that we started
because-
getting. Yeah.
Yeah, like we joke. We are a ridiculous couple. So, and people don't understand it.
Some people don't get that we're like just sarcastic 90% of the time.
Yeah.
To each other, especially.
People have emailed into the show asking if Sarah was okay during one episode because she seemed a little feisty.
Well, I get that way all the time.
Yeah.
It's sarcastic. Yeah,
Yeah,
no one
I get
gets it. I'm like, you're so stupid.
And I was
And they're
like,
like,
if you met Sarah in person, because she says some fucked up shit to you, but like
I have no
with a
filter.
stone cold face, and you think if you were a stranger, you'd be like, "Oh my god, what a bitch!" And then you
Most
get to know
people
her.
do.
Yeah, when you get to
Everyone
know
doesn't
her,
like me at first.
she's like, "I'm just really dry humored. I'm sorry,
Yeah.
I can't keep up with that." Like Seinfeld is dry humored, and Sarah is like dehydrated.
I'm drinking my water. I just have no filter.
That's okay though.
Yeah,
I
we
just
That's a good way to be.
Like my poor
Who cares?
husband. I'm like, come here, you little dick. Everyone's like, he's fine.
I'm not abusive. I promise.
Honestly, that poor guy is just like, what? Talking to me, and I'm like, yeah, I am, ho.
So the idea started with you. Like what inspired you to podcast? Like what podcasts were you interested or listened to before you wanted to start your own? What?
Call her daddy.
Oh, yes.
I love Color
And
Daddy.
Crime Junkie.
Yep.
And Small Town Murder. That straight
Go
up.
on.
I'm giving shout outs to James and Jimmy because I've said it before, but you guys were the inspiration behind our own disclaimer because it's like, yeah, even though we don't talk as inappropriate shit every time, it'd still be good to like put something in there and let people know like this is an adult conversation, like we're doing it. So
Yeah.
so yeah, no, but I loved them. I love true crime, but I was like, I can't dedicate that much time to research
Yep.
to do something like
Tried that.
True.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we tried that. We were scripted for a while.
Oh, you are.
First,
Yeah.
the first,
Oh,
the
wow,
first
really?
episode.
Yeah, it did not did not
That's a
go
lot
well.
of work.
It was, especially because the second episode I pulled, it was all about Utah. So I pulled all the stats on
I remember
everything.
seeing that or listening.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and it ended up being a good episode, but I had a 15-page prompter. And
horrible.
it was just too hard to stay in the same place. There was a lot of jumping around.
We
Yeah.
go on tangents.
And we like, that's our thing. We like to go on tangents. Bitch, it's hard talks. Your vagina is calling. Get out of here. But yeah, so I'll usually type up a few bullet points now, which is some like key questions, just to kind of give myself a
Yeah.
timeline, something to come back to because I tangent so much. I'm like, what was the point again?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
It's like a general outline, keep you on topic. But
Exactly.
other than that, everything else should just flow however it flows.
yeah, I can't make them too long, and that was a hard lesson that I had to learn, especially with like setting up like your RSS feed and everything, because a lot of people are like, oh, I'm going to make a podcast and I'm going to publish it onto iTunes. Let me tell you, folks. You have to create an RSS feed. You have to create a platform with your own signature handle, if you will, or URL. So when people look up your podcast, it can direct them to the different podcasting platforms, etc. So I personally use like Buzzsprout. What do you guys use?
We're on Captivate.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know much about them, but I like Buzzsprout because when I upload an episode, it'll automatically just publish it to all the platforms.
Yeah.
Spotify, iHeart, everything. I can't.
Or her.
These shades are good.
we're just cutting you off at one. You're done.
I'm
after
halfway
one.
through it, so
Oh
the
dear.
alcohol content on this. I don't know. But you know what I'm saying. You got
Yeah.
me off
No.
track.
No, ours does that too. Ours does that
Yeah.
too. Because I actually signed up for Buzzsprout and then we kind of just did We used it for, I don't think we even
We didn't use
used it.
Buzzsprout. We used Anchor at first.
Yeah, Anchor, and then
I used Anchor at first too.
yeah, we changed it. We didn't like it.
I wasn't a fan of Anchor as well. And I'm not talking shit if you guys use it and it works for you, but it just didn't work for
Like it's totally perfect for like starting out, or even if it's just a hobby. But you lose a lot of control with
especially the advertisements.
the way that they've described it. Is if you're not paying for the product, you are the product. So
Yeah.
any free service, just keep that in mind. If you're trying to expand it and actually grow it, you should probably look for something you got to pay for.
Absolutely. And that's what we learned. Because it's, even though we have great equipment, I like Buzzsprout too, because it masters the entire audio file. Master mixes, excuse me. But I also like the way that it tracks my stats, because I have my streams on there as well. Like I don't have to go to each individual site. You know, like sometimes you have to go to Apple specifically to see how many streams you've had through that platform.
Oh, okay.
I'm not about it. So everything is just kind of grouped there for me. But I have been willing to branch out. I had to rebrand so much, like I said, because we had this whole
We're the OGs.
production started coming about in November, and then we sat down and recorded our first episode
in December.
in December. And
3 times.
Bitch Bonus Corey was initially our third co-host, but after recording one episode, she was like, you know what, this is really time consuming and quite the commitment, so I'm gonna bow out
a lot
now.
of people don't think that.
Oh yeah,
But it is.
yeah. And so initially the show was called Hard Talks with a Bitch, a Blonde, and a Hippie.
Yeah, I remember.
So we dropped the
Yeah.
bitch, and then I got a second blonde on, your boy Brett, and he was on for 3 episodes and then literally fell off the face of the planet. Like he
Really?
ghosted my ass.
It was weird.
Wasn't showing up for recordings, so I was like, hey,
Or he's
well,
like always like rescheduling, or I'm like,
I was like,
Like, if you don't want to do it, that's fine.
yeah,
Just
but
tell
I
me.
need to move
Honestly.
on. Yeah. And so we cut him, and it worked out for the best, and that's how it became Hard Talks with a Blonde and a Hippie, how it should be and will remain,
Yeah.
even if Sarah quits on me ever. It's still going to be.
I mean, only
We're
in August.
Because you couldn't
For
pay
a
me enough
minute.
to rebrand a fourth time.
For just for a minute, I'll be gone.
Well, I'm prepared for
I will
that.
be pushing a baby out of my vagina.
Yeah.
No, I was wondering that when you first started, you said, I think you had posted something about how we're not going to start until like another week or something because you were changing your ideas and things like that. So I remember that.
Well, yeah, and like there's a lot that goes into it too. Like you had
Yeah.
to change your whole RSS feed, which it takes longer than you'd think. Okay, and then I had to change our email address. I had to change our tags on all of our social media platforms, and then I got a branded logo, like our mountain logo with the Hard Talks on it. I had to rebrand that twice because the name changed. So I was like,
Well, that's what we did.
We
We
rebranded
were
once,
Pillow
actually.
Talk. Yeah, we were Pillow Talk with A&A.
oh, I like that too.
Yeah. But there was a lot of
Pillow Talk was not
names.
very original.
Yeah.
So you search Pillow Talk and there's about 397
Oh,
other
gotcha.
You're like
gotcha.
scrolling through,
search
you're like,
results.
And I was
Where are we at?
researching if somebody wanted to, they could technically put in like a lawsuit and take over all rights to every one of our
Yeah.
episodes.
Yeah.
And so I was like, I'm not willing to do that. So let's just change it to something else. And then he said Hopelessly Unromantic one day. And I was like, well, that's you. So let's do it.
That's great. So, did you design your logo and
Yeah.
everything? That's cool.
Yeah.
What did you use? What did you do?
Canva.
Okay.
Yeah, we used Canva. And yeah, I mean, that's what I use for basically everything. But he does all the little, what are they called? Clip art picture thingies of us.
The thumbnails?
Yes, the thumbnails. But I've actually started to learn how to do some editing. So I'm
Yeah.
going to be helping and doing a lot of the things.
Sarah, you want to learn how to edit?
It's hard.
It's not
No.
hard, but it's,
It's just
time
time consuming.
Yeah.
I would mess that shit up. I'd probably delete the whole thing and be like,
I'd probably go back and
I've
listen
tried
to
to
the whole thing.
teach her how to edit clips and basically made it like just a template for her. I'm like, all you have to do is cut the pieces you need, okay?
Yeah. But that would be so helpful to, because I know some people who podcast, once they reach a certain level, they outsource, and
Right.
some people come in and edit and
Yeah.
publish their episodes for them. And I was like, what a life that would be.
Yeah.
Like, we were on 27th Hour podcast a few months ago with Dre Rocca and Junior Hammond. And Dre cuts and edits, produces all the episodes. Because, I mean, he's a professional. He works for a radio station. But then Junior's wife does all the social media and marketing. And so Junior just shows up and it's his show. And I'm like, what a damn life.
Yeah.
What do I need to do to make that happen? Like,
Yeah.
Tell me what you need from me, babe. I can do
All
so
of it.
much, but you know.
yeah, no, that's a great
Yeah.
idea because I think I'll start teaching you too.
It's honestly like it's I don't have a laptop that supports it. And so now that I'm moving in and we both quit our jobs and I'm door dashing. That's what I'm doing. So I have more time on my hands so I can do more of that with his computer because I'm there now.
Yeah, so you guys are doing this
So-
full time now, yeah?
Not necessarily just that.
okay.
We quit our jobs because we weren't happy with our jobs, to be
Good
honest.
for you.
I hated
Um,
my job.
She was working at a law firm doing credit repair, and I was a registered nurse.
Wow.
All
Yeah.
right.
God, that's awesome.
Yeah.
That's like everyone's dream of just being able to like do the damn thing and then like
Yeah.
rediscover what you want, what you like, what you need out of life. So commend you guys for being able to do that.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
It's
Yeah,
been,
thanks.
I mean, you're amazing at what you're doing. You've only been doing it for 3 days. And I just drive. So,
So yeah,
what have you been doing?
I quit my job as a nurse, and now I'm doing like sales and stuff like
Okay.
that. And 3 days doing that, I've already made more than my paycheck as a nurse. So like,
Wow.
I'm like, you know what? And it gives me way more freedom than I would have ever had at the hospital. So
Yeah.
Honestly.
Wow.
those old ladies love her cute little smile.
yeah.
I
They
love
send the
that.
cute little boy over.
With the sultry voice, please.
The erotic novel.
I want no
Audiobook
one
voice.
else. I want Andy.
I want the Andy that reads to me, please.
The deep voice. I want that Andy.
Yeah, then in their head, they're like, no, I want that ass. That's what they're like, oh my God. Oh, good for you guys.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
it does allow us to pursue this more seriously and
Yeah.
put more time into it. So we're going to be doing like little bonus episodes that
Yeah.
are just like audio only. And then we're going to do like live streaming and stuff
Yeah.
like that.
Well, I have more
and-
time to make our merch. I'm doing all the shirts and stuff. I went and bought a Cricut and I'm doing it myself. So
yeah.
it's a lot easier, a lot cheaper, and it's a lot better because I can do it how I want.
Absolutely.
Yeah, for sure.
We're starting to do merch as well. It's a very exciting thing.
I saw that. I saw that.
It's kind of a surreal feeling, you know?
yeah.
Like,
It's cool.
yeah. So, yeah, guys, if you're listening to this, jump onto Apple Pod. First 15 people to leave a 5-star rating and review. You can just say hi. I don't really care what you say. And then email hardtalkswithbnh@gmail.com saying done. You will earn a free piece of Hard Talks merch, never before seen. Merch line not launched yet, so get on it.
Hashtag on its way.
Hashtag do it.
Well,
Yeah.
that's awesome.
Yeah. So you got shirts, and what else are you planning to do?
So I don't know yet. Coasters. We know we
Like
want
that?
to do coasters because of our drinks, but we haven't really. Honestly, for a minute there, we didn't even think about the podcast for like a month.
Yeah.
And so now that I'm just about to get back into merch and everything, we got to think about it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I wanted to do like stickers because you could put stickers
Stickers.
anywhere.
yeah.
Yeah.
I want-
Stickers
Time
would
for-
be good.
Some hard talks, bitch.
I need one for my
Do
hydro
something
flask.
do something unique to the show, like for ours, maybe, since we talk about a lot of sexual stuff. Just do like a dildo branded with it.
Yes, dildo.
Yes.
Do
I-
like a peach and an eggplant.
yeah.
I thought about incorporating the ring somehow, but I'll have to figure that out.
Yeah. It's a lot of thinking and a lot of.
But it's
You know,
what's
my
cool
brain
because you can
hurts.
take it anywhere. You can
Yeah.
do whatever you want.
Yeah, it's fun.
Absolutely.
Can have like different types of shirts, different sayings.
Yeah.
My stanimas.
Well, I
Just
think
say-
you're just saying it wrong on purpose now.
I did say it right there. I did say it wrong.
I never know. Like, she'll literally get on these kicks about these same words, and I'm like, I literally don't know how you say that word anymore. You've said it too many times. You know?
I have to look it up.
Can you
I'm
say
like, oh.
cinnamon?
Yeah, I can't say parentheses.
What?
Yeah, I had like a.
Parentheses.
If I like slow it down,
Parentheses.
I can say parentheses, but I say parentheses.
Wow. That's worse than my extraordinary.
Yeah, think about that one for a second.
I do every
But
time.
I didn't notice I was saying stamina wrong.
Stamina. What is it? What's
It's
the correct way?
Stamina.
Stamina.
What is stamina?
like your?
You can go a long time.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I didn't know I was saying it wrong until someone like wrote into the show and they're like, I like how Sarah says stamina. I'm like,
What?
Yeah. Stamina.
When-
Stamina is like how long you can last, not only in bed, but
yeah, so that's
like
how
when
I
you're
know
out
it
when you're out
means.
like running and stuff like that too.
You have good stamina.
Mm.
I mean, yeah. But I mean, like, let's be honest, it's in bed, people.
Yeah.
We don't
That's what
care
you
about
think
running.
of. Yeah.
I don't.
How's
care.
my stamina?
Are you a 2-pump jump?
Yeah. I give her 3. I care about her.
Are you ready? Are you ready for this? Get ready. We gotta count down. I'll get you off first, and then I'll go.
Oh, that's funny.
I mean, you do what works for you. You know.
yeah. Yeah.
It's fine.
Yeah.
It's a great time.
It
No,
works.
in junior high, I got made fun of because I cannot say cockle doodle doo. I cannot say it. I can, like, just like statistics. I can't,
Statistics.
I don't know.
Statistics.
Statistics.
It's like parentheses.
Yeah, it's a good time.
It's totally fine.
Anyway,
You know.
Anyways.
that was fun.
You just go off on yourself here.
What else did you say? Could you say it wrong, Allie?
What?
What other words?
You
can
can't say statistics or cockadoodle-doo.
Yeah.
She can't say cockadoodle-doo.
I can't.
Try it.
Cockle doodle doo.
Cockle.
Cockle-doodle. I mean, it's cute. It's a cute try, though.
That is the downside of doing a drinking production, though. Too is like halfway through, I have to pee, and it's like,
I've been holding it.
Yeah.
Well, you have a steel tank then, because I can't handle that.
I've been sitting for like the last hour. I'm like,
As soon as we do our outro song, Allie every single time
I gotta pee.
throws the headphones off, runs to the bathroom.
I love it. And let me just say, these Pina Colada Shades beers are hippie approved. So go get yours today. I think they're, well, you're just jealous. Don't be.
I am very jealous.
Don't be salty.
I'm gonna be like the lightest weight when I come back from this. I had like a
great
pretty
time.
good. I had a pretty good stamina going.
You actually said it right. that
I
time.
know. I don't know how I was saying it wrong before.
You were saying stanima.
Yeah, and I literally didn't notice. But we were driving. Where were we driving? I can't remember where it was, but I can't remember the name of the town now. I was just bringing up, and Chase was like,
Don't smell it, just drink it.
Yeah, just taste it. It's
I hate
delicious.
beer.
Oh, it's
try it.
very
It's
light.
not. It's not like.
It smells like beer.
It's
well, they
not
all smell like
It's
the
kind
same.
of like got a almost slight sour aftertaste.
Yeah.
Oh, I love it.
Well, it does say sour, right? Is it an IPA?
Yeah. No.
No, it's an ale.
American style sour ale.
sour ale.
Ale brewed
There we
with
go.
coconut, pineapple, and lactose. That's good for you.
Are you lactose intolerant?
Yes.
Can you say that word?
I'm lactose intolerant.
She can say that word.
No, not say it. She really is.
Yeah, I really am.
That's totally fine.
Uh-oh.
A lot of people are.
But it's fine.
But she doesn't care. She'll still eat cheese.
I have
and-
dairy
I mean,
pills.
just take your pills.
Yeah.
You'll be totally fine. Just
I
pop
have
a couple
dairy
pills.
pills.
I didn't realize there were dairy pills. I
Yeah.
thought if you
Yeah.
had lactose, it was just, if you ate or drank dairy product, you just would almost get ill.
Diarrhea.
Yeah, okay.
So not always, because sometimes I get to the point where my stomach feels like it's crushing and minging together.
Do you remember our Pudini
And
story?
then sometimes, shut up.
So she had lactose that night.
That's a good story, guys.
I
Jump
ate lots
on
of queso.
and find that episode. What episode is that?
It's our episode 8. It's
Episode
called
8.
Pudini. If you want the shortened version, we got a butt plug lost in there.
What?
That's my kind of jam. Good for you, girl.
It was a good time.
I had to reach in there and get it out.
Yeah, I was like, go get the lube.
Stuck behind it was a lot of lactose induced.
Oh my god.
You
Diarrhea.
poor-
That is
I
the
feel more bad
true-
for you. You're just like. There's
Well, and then he goes in the room and lays back down and starts laughing his ass off.
It was hilarious.
And I was
At
mortified.
least it wasn't like awkward silence, you know.
Talk about
Yeah.
freaking
Just like-
no boundaries.
Yeah, we have no boundaries.
Well, like, no, it's good though. Like how like you guys are like in your relationship because like that's how me and my husband are, and everyone's like, what?
Well, that's how it should be. Like if you,
I don't
like boundaries between each other in a relationship.
like-
that would be so weird.
like you're just like you don't care. Like you like oh you got a butt plug in there. Let me just stick my fingers up there and just grab it out and you, like explode on your way out.
I
You're
know
just
this
like,
is TMI, but I've had to fish out like tampons for my friend at a
That's
rave.
just a good friend.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like a lot of people hear that and like, then they are like, "Oh, that's cringeworthy," and I'm like,
But then again, like
maybe, but also like, if you don't
You
help
gotta
her
get it
out,
out.
how the fuck else is she? You know,
she can't
you
get
gotta-
it.
It's all human, natural
Yeah.
shit. Okay, friends, if you can't fart in front of your significant other, or if they're literally like, "Oh, females or vice versa don't poop," dump them.
Jump 'em.
That's,
It's true.
Down all the way.
that's some of our friends actually that think that way.
yeah, and I'm like, I don't
Yeah.
understand.
No, I
Well,
don't love
but
it though.
shit all
Because
the
at,
time.
at that point, it seems kind of superficial, right?
Yeah.
If you can't be 100% natural yourself.
You have to go out of the
Oh, yeah,
house
yeah,
to
yeah.
go to like I gotta go number 2. Then I'm gonna go to Walmart.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, everyone's been there. Like when you first start dating someone you really like, it feels like you hold your farts for the first minute and you leave,
Stomach
get in
hurts
your
so
car, and let them go, and it's like, man, dude, like, no wonder I've been in pain for the
Just
last 2 days.
Once you get that first one out, it is like smooth sailing. 'Cause
Yep.
everyone
Liberating.
does it. Like you can't not do it.
Yeah.
Like literally, if someone told you they don't fart, they're lying. Okay.
Just like
Like-
someone who says they don't masturbate.
I really don't.
Ah, you're
What?
lying.
Lying.
No,
I still stand by that.
Ask Chase. It freaks me out. I do not even like to look at it.
Well, how do you get your head down there to look at what you're doing? Do you film it while you're down there?
No,
What are
I
you
don't go
doing?
down there. My vagina freaks me out. Like
That's
I can't.
weird.
Like I can't
You
touch
need to
it.
you need to love yourself, fam.
I'm
Even
trying.
if you're in a committed relationship. Go treat yourself.
I'll have Chase
Sometimes,
do it.
yeah.
Shower
like,
time is everyone's special time.
I think I tried it once. And I'm like, this is so weird.
Make it a point. You were at my peer romance party. You bought a shit ton of things. What do you use them
Yeah.
for?
Chase uses them
Oh,
on
No.
me.
You know, that's funny. Allie was never really into toys before we got together.
Yeah.
I support the toys all
Yes.
the way.
Toys are amazing. We can
And
get into all that.
It shakes shit up. You know what I mean?
It
Like,
does.
especially for people, if you want to stay in a happy,
I'm too
passionate
nervous.
relationship,
It makes
like,
me feel nervous.
well, I understand. I understand. But like you said, no boundaries, right?
Yeah.
You have to have no boundaries with yourself.
Chase, he's all like, he's like, you make my mouth water. I'm like, thanks.
Wait,
It's okay if
like
you're
dirty talk. We actually don't do that.
We don't, yeah.
That's the one thing we don't really care
We
for.
don't.
talk
do.
dirty to me.
Yeah.
It gets hard.
It gets weird. Because then you're just like,
It's awkward. Yeah, we don't like it.
that bring this is a hard segue. But thoughts on lingerie. I love lingerie. But for a lot of men that I've seen, they're like, it's just a thing that I have to rip off. Like,
Yeah, it's kind of like that.
yeah.
Okay. So when me and Andy went to Park City for my birthday, I tried to put some lingerie on and I pretended that I couldn't get the straps hooked on because I didn't want to come out of the bathroom because I'm so awkward. And so when I came out, I was like,
No, girl, you needed to be in that door and be like,
I just can't.
you've
And
been
he's-
missing this your whole life, stud.
Hey,
Consider yourself lucky.
I try to get her to. She's not the like aggressor
Yeah.
or the one that initiates it. So
It's between us, yeah.
Ooh, we'll start a pack today. We'll start branching out and doing something scandalous for ourselves. It's not even about you anymore, Andy. It's like, I'm going to put something on that makes me feel good.
Yeah.
We'll go lingerie shopping together, girl. We're going to make some bonus content. Watch. I'm going to film it all.
can I get like a bra and panty set? Because, like, let's be honest, I can't get like full body suits
No, I'm
going
going to
on.
get you a corset right now.
I'll come strutting out in a Speedo for you or something.
Boom, bam.
Boom, bam.
The last time I was in Cancun, I love Mexico. You never know what's going to happen, friends. But I'm on the beach and it was like the thing. That was the standard. If you weren't in a Speedo, then you weren't living your best life because I
Wear
saw,
that banana hammock.
I did see a couple banana hammocks. There were a couple of beached whales there and phew, I just applaud
But
you,
you know
for
what?
having the courage to strut your shit and get
Some
out there.
grenades.
Talk about confidence.
You're killing it, and you're getting a good tan. So
No tan line.
thank you for the visual. I'll never forget.
That's awesome. Good. Yeah.
Oh man. So how do you guys like come up with most of your topic and content? Like, did you sit down in the beginning and make a long list or what?
We did.
We had a list in the beginning,
Yeah.
and now we just kind of like,
If something comes to mind, we talk about it. Like, so for example, we had one. We haven't actually. This is going to be one of our future episodes. But just like, I was at the gym. This guy came up to me and was talking to me, and at first, when I saw him, like not self-image, just looking at somebody judging by a book, because he didn't look like he was groundy looking and had like steel boots on, like he was from work in jeans working out at the gym. And I was like, what? Like, why? What is he doing here?
Yeah.
So he comes up to me and was just talking to me like a normal, like he was super nice, super sweet, just like asking about how I do things. It wasn't a hitting on type of thing because I can usually sense that. But I was like, I just judged this guy for absolutely no reason. And for what? Like, he was a really nice guy, whatever. Anyways, so we just like do topics based off of random shit I think of
Yeah.
like that.
But I totally get that because it's like you see someone and without even thinking, it's a very unconscious thing based off how they carry themselves or the way they're
Yeah.
dressed. You have these preconceived judgments before you even realize you have them.
yeah.
It's crazy. Yeah, the psychology behind it all.
I know.
We're a very judgmental race.
Society.
Species.
Well, I feel like
Thank you.
it's a very
That's what I was thinking of.
I don't know. I feel like it's worse in the Western society because, you know, we have a lot of first world problems. We live on social media and it's
Yeah.
like,
People like to associate someone's identity with like what they wear, what their social status is, with the blah, 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 blah. So I think it kind of stems from that.
yeah.
But
Yeah. So what do you guys do kind of the same thing with your topics? Or?
So initially when I sat down and started everything, I did. I had a giant list of, I don't know,
Pages.
just pages of
Topics.
difficult things to talk about. Is like, okay, if I can't have this conversation in a workplace, it's going on the podcast
Right.
pretty much.
I have all these conversations at work. I don't know what you're talking about.
Well, you you work with bitch bonus Corey, and
I do.
she owns the salon, so anything.
There's
flies.
some things I remember at Supercuts, I'd say something, you guys are like,
Is this Corey blonde
Sir?
hair? She went to Syracuse High.
no, she's older. She's
Oh,
like
okay.
46.
Never
Yeah,
mind.
She is the wizard queen of color.
She's the color queen.
I still like wizard better. I think wizard trumps queen.
Well, no, it's like her, like when she has like her little business card.
I
It
don't
says
care.
color queen.
It's wizard over queen. I'm just saying.
She can be wizard or
Sorry,
color, whatever.
Corey. It's great either way. Just take the fucking compliment. But no, and then after we started production, we kind of skipped around because all my thoughts in this list were random. So I literally have gone back to the drawing board and we've done random episodes. One of the biggest episodes I wanted to push out was our episode covering adoption because it's such a big topic for me. And I was really nervous, like, publishing that episode because I was like, the whole point of the show is to have hard talks, right? I have an easier time talking about sex or, you know, cracking jokes, being crass. But then we get to those more serious episodes and we're talking about anxiety or adoption or
Yeah.
motherhood, what that looks like, what standards from society's views. And those episodes are honestly harder for me to drop because I share a lot of my truth, and as many of my listeners know, like it's always been hard for me to open up, and this has been kind of a form of therapy to actually,
Yeah.
man, like reprocess some of the things that I've gone through. And I think those episodes are the ones that have received the most love or the most email feedback. We get a lot of comments on Instagram as well, but we got this email from this girl, and she wrote in as Jane Doe from Cedar City. And she was just asking us questions about adoption, how I chose adoption, the process, if I ever considered abortion. Like, it was a whole thing. And we started this kind of pen pal ship, and we're going back and forth. And I think it was probably 5 episodes ago, but I got another email from her, and she was just like, I am so grateful that I just so happened to stumble upon your show, because I've now opened up to my parents. They know I'm pregnant. I've sought out therapy, and I've decided to place my child up for adoption. And she was like, I never would have considered that had I not listened to your episode about adoption. And that, my friends, is why we do this. Because in starting out, it was just like an idea. And it was like, oh, no one's going to listen to this. It's a silent audience. We can just fuck around. And then we started to get feedback and started to see some pickup. And it was like, well, shit, like what we say actually might resonate with someone.
Mm-hmm.
And so that we also like were doing music in the ends of the first like 10 episodes.
Yeah, I remember that.
And we stopped that because I was like, I don't want to fucking get sued for copyright issues because we hit over like 1,000 downloads and 6,000 streams, and then started seeing more of a reaction from other countries and places I hadn't even heard of. And I was like, okay, well, Sarah, that was fun.
Yeah.
But
We're
no
done.
more music in the end. So, yeah.
I like
mean,
our ending now, though.
Yeah.
It's way cuter.
It's been a big learning experience and growing every time we sit down and record.
It's always something different.
But
It's been fun, though.
Yeah, to your main question, like we do kind of the same thing. Like whatever feels good that week, I'll usually do a prompter and be like, "Hey, Sarah, this is what the general idea is. What we're talking about today." And she's like, "I'm with it. We're rolling." I'm like, okay, cool, we're there.
Yeah.
But yeah, other than that, it's just been.
Yeah, no, that's kind of that was my goal, is to do things that, like in the first few episodes, I opened up about a lot how I have like Tourette's syndrome and how like I've had sexual things happen to me that
Trauma,
aren't ideal
Yeah.
and things like that. And we get a lot of feedback from that type of stuff. So there's an episode actually coming out. I'm not going to say it, but is it our next episode? Is it coming out tomorrow?
Which the
coming
next
out.
2 are going to be a little.
The coming out. Yeah, the
Yeah,
next
yeah.
2 are very personal and very, it'll be good. But I think things like this that we're doing like that is going to get not necessarily a lot more attention, but people are going to actually relate to a lot of things. So.
And that was the whole idea when we sat down, and because same boat as you. This idea literally came from, because I've always been a big writer, got scholarships for journalism, creative writing, etc. Well, I flushed it down the toilet because I was too busy selling pot and not going to school. But when it started, like the podcast wasn't even an idea. I wanted to start like a blog or like some writing thing, kind of talking about things that push the envelope, that make people feel a little uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And I was talking about this idea up at our family cabin to my aunt and my sister. And my aunt was like, oh, you shouldn't start a podcast or anything because you're not that funny. And I was like,
well, I'm going to do it now.
well, that was seriously the fire that was lit under my ass, because I was talking to my little sister, who's just as outrageous, if you could imagine that. I was like, Rachel, it'd be fun if we did a project and started something like a hobby of our own. And that's when my aunt was like, no, you shouldn't do a podcast or anything. It wouldn't be that funny. Rachel should start a podcast because she's hilarious. And I was like, well, fuck you, dude. I'm pretty fucking funny. And so I literally was going around to my other friends who are like-minded, who talk about things, taboo things as well. And nobody wanted to do it with me. They were like, oh, that'd be fun. But no one wanted to step up and actually like make it happen, especially when it came to buying equipment.
Yep.
We had all of our USB mics in the beginning, and I was just asking my little laptop to do way too much because I had 4 mics plugged into my MacBook at once, and it was just a crazy, awesome mess. But finally, because me and Sarah have been so close for years, I'm getting my eyelashes done. She's my lash girl. And I'm like, I'm just going to start this podcast and do it by myself because nobody else wants to. I'm going to fucking do it. And she's like, well, you're an asshole. You didn't ask me. And that was...
I'll do it with you. And she's like,
Yeah.
You will.
That was the
I was like,
birth
well,
of
yeah,
it.
why didn't you ask me, you hoe?
Yeah, and she works in the salon that bitch bonus Corey does, and so Corey's in the
She's
background.
like, you know what? She's like, I want to do it too.
She's like, yeah, I want to do it with you. And so it started to roll and come together really quickly. And Corey was actually the one that came up with the idea of, bitch, a blonde and a hippie.
Yeah.
Mm.
And I was like, that's great. People are going to hear that and be like, that's different. That's funny. Whatever. And she couldn't make it happen. But that was seriously the birth of the production. And it just kind of stemmed from there. And it's just funny because you almost want to work harder for the people that are like your naysayers, if you will.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, well, you're not even worth my energy, but watch me climb this mountain.
I'll be freaking hilarious.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Applause for you.
We
Because it's
almost,
all the haters who listen.
Yeah.
we almost had some negative feedback about like the things we talk about, like, oh, you guys talk about sex
We did
and you
have
swear
negative
and you're blah, blah,
feedback.
blah, blah. And it just like,
That's why we have our disclaimer. Because if you don't like it, it's not for you.
yeah.
Well, and that's what me and Andy, we were going to make an episode. Like, if you don't want to listen, then don't. But we just decided, like, we've told you guys from the beginning, if you don't want to listen, then don't. I
Yeah.
even put family. If you don't want to listen, then don't.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's not
We're
our
not-
job, just like it's not your job to cater to anybody.
We're not
No.
We
pressuring
don't
you
give a fuck.
to listen
No.
to it.
And
Yeah.
where we're living in an age of such highly sensitive and overly offended people, if you will, it's just kind of like, whatever. You're either going to love us or hate us. And for the ones that love us, we know who you are.
Yep.
You bitches.
Yeah. And we appreciate the support. It's just the beginning. It's a wild ride.
It's almost been a
Yeah.
year.
Yeah.
So you guys typically drop your episodes on Mondays?
Yep,
Is that
Monday
right?
night. So we'll drop ours tomorrow at 8 p.m.
And episode 20, right?
Are we
Yeah.
on 20 or 20?
This is 20.
20. yeah.
Episode 20.
Hey,
When we hit episode 20, it was like a little Fiesta Friday in my mind. I was like, excuse me, because I read that statistic, like there's over like 10 million podcasts being published on Spotify today. This was about like Joe Rogan's podcast and how he got a multi-million-dollar deal from Spotify. And it was basically reading that Spotify was willing to make that investment because they know that they're going to get their money back in tenfold, right?
Right.
And I'm just like, man, the amount of listeners, followers that he has. I don't know where I was going with that. My
Story
literally
of my life.
ADD.
Episode 20 being a milestone.
Oh yeah, because the statistic read that most podcasts that start do not get past episode 10. And so when I hit 20,
We
I was
read
like,
that. Yeah.
It's funny because they say episode 10 is around like the burnout level for people, or when they start to realize it's a lot of work and they just
That's
let
when
it
we
go.
started realizing it. Remember?
the 7-year itch. It's the
Yeah.
10th episode posting. I don't fucking know.
Yeah. Well, like, good for you guys.
Yeah, no, but you guys are there.
Yeah.
Fucking doing it.
Yeah, we're here too. Yeah. We're all here.
We're right. And it's cool because, like, when you messaged me, I got into your podcast and I was like, we're like right on the same pace with each other. Like, we started
Yeah.
production around the same time.
Mhm.
And it's been cool to watch each other grow. And,
Mm-hmm.
you know, I love the content that you put out. I
It's fun.
keep doing it.
Yeah.
You're good at it.
Thanks.
We are very open. So,
You got
Very
the
open.
voices.
You guys
Yeah.
are going to
yeah.
learn a little bit more about us in the next couple episodes.
Yeah,
But,
it'll be interesting.
I love that because then, like, you reach out to someone else.
Yeah, Surrey.
Is that me? Is that you? What the heck?
Say it again, please.
That wasn't mine.
It was weird. Damn Siri.
Ground.
Jeez.
I don't know. Anyway. Well, yeah. Good times.
Yeah. So what's on the horizon for you guys? Like, where do you see this podcast going? Are you doing it until, like,
You know-
is there an end in sight? Do you have a specific goal in mind, or you just doing it out of the love for it?
No, but I do have an ideal episode I want to do eventually, and Andy's going to propose to me on the episode.
Oh,
You already have it all planned out.
that one will get the most.
Show up, Andy.
She's
the
had it
most
planned out
listens.
since like we started dating.
Whatever. You're
like,
gonna
I
marry
got
me
you.
one day,
It's
sweet cheeks.
all you have to do. Okay. So nice, though.
Yeah.
As far as where we see it going, we haven't really thought of an end goal besides just growth and doing it because we love doing it.
Seeing how far it can take you.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Growth
that's
and
just
stuff
what
is,
it is.
growth and stuff is great. Monetizing is great, but it's not like the main focus.
Yeah.
Obviously, if it became a full-time gig, then hell yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah.
But otherwise, we just want to keep doing what we're doing.
Yeah. It's fun.
You have great chemistry. You guys roll off of each other pretty well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think we've heard that from some people before. And they're like, you
Yeah.
guys complement each other very well because our personalities are almost opposite on the
That's
show.
Yeah.
awesome, though. That's what
Yeah.
makes it fun to listen to.
Yeah.
Right. Well, thanks.
You just bitch it out.
Of course.
Have you received any feedback or emails from anyone that's kind of been eye-opening?
Yeah, so there was actually this one girl that told me, because I did not expect people to like feel this way, I guess. And you had told me a little bit too when you messaged me. People were saying that they're relating to me and they feel like they've known me for so long just by listening to the podcast. And that made me feel really good because I was so insecure about this whole thing. Like I've opened up so much since the podcast.
Yeah.
But I was not that person. Like, I'm still freaking socially awkward. I go out and I'm like, don't talk to me.
But it's cool
So-
that you're able to branch out and like go to festivals and raves though, because there's a lot of
I
people
love
there.
it. Yeah.
So
I
how's
love
your
it.
social anxiety there?
It's fine.
Yeah.
So it's just weird. It's more of like
Usually
if
curved by
yeah.
other things.
Yeah. But no, it's more like if I go to a family function and we're all sitting down talking and it gets awkward, like, you know, it's
Got
more
you.
like that.
Yeah.
Makes
And
sense.
so more of like the bigger stuff, like shows, things like that, I don't have a problem.
Gotcha. So it's not about like people. It's about like
That awkward
personable
silence.
conversations.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Got you.
Yeah.
Got you. Yeah. I'm such, dude, like I could talk to a wall for an hour. I literally, and I've said that before in an episode. I was like, if I have a hard time like carrying on a conversation with somebody, I know it's not me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But no, dude.
Yeah.
I totally get that. I said that already. It's almost like a form of therapy. We just
Yeah.
Can be.
yeah, because it's like I've really opened up and shared some things that some people don't even know about me.
Mm-hmm.
And I never thought that I would feel comfortable in doing so. But I think the whole idea behind it for us is, being there for someone who feels like they're alone and
Yeah.
no one else out there really understands. You know, it's like I said, it's most nerve-wracking for me when I release those intense topic conversations because it's really allowing people to see the dark and twisty shit within my
Yep.
life. And
Yeah. I
it's
get
hard
that.
to be vulnerable. Yeah.
It is.
It is.
But I think it's important because the whole idea is to normalize
Everything.
the hard shit, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's some of the feedback we've gotten too, is people have really appreciated the episodes where we've just got like deep
Yeah.
and talked about stuff that people don't want to think about or don't want to talk about with their partner, even in a relationship. Because Allie and I basically just air everything out there for
Yeah.
everybody to hear.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I never thought I'd be telling the world about my asshole, but there it is.
Hey, I never thought I'd be telling people about my first rim job.
Oh my
but
God, I love
Here we are.
Oh, that's awesome.
No, I really appreciate you guys coming all the way out here. Is there anything else you'd like to say?
All the way out here. We're actually like a couple blocks
Yeah,
down
we're like
from you
6
two.
minutes away.
We're neighbors.
You
Party
guys came all the way
hardy.
from Salt Lake. Thanks for coming.
No,
No, we appreciate you guys. Thanks for having us on.
yeah, it's
thanks
fun.
for having us. It's
Of
cool.
course, it's been fun.
I was doing this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. What was that?
I don't know. My back's starting to hurt.
You have a joke of the day for me?
What?
You have a joke of
You
the day
have
for
the
me?
joke of the day.
The
I
joke,
have-
the
I-
joke of the day.
Joke of the day.
jokes. I have like the weird,
Your facts?
yes. let me look.
All right.
I don't have one. Oh, here we go. Let's see. Did you guys, Kate? No. Did you know that possum is spelled with O-P-O-S-S-U-M?
I've never thought about that.
Like
one.
a possum.
Yeah.
Who has?
Is that how you spell? That's yeah. So it's. Did you know that? That's how they're spelled.
Yeah.
Opossums.
Oh, like before the possum part. Okay, I thought
It's like-
you meant,
it's like O?
I thought you were saying like there's a POSS, and I'm like possum. How would you spell that? But opossum. Got you, Sarah.
My freaking back.
No, I remember that,
let's
and I
see.
don't miss
Yeah,
that.
my back's killing too. So I tried to be like all seductive and dominant and like pick up Allie to take her to bed. And as soon as I picked her up, I was like, oh.
You're like, get like your knees. You're like, I'm going down. I'm going down. It's
Yeah,
fine.
you were so mean to me.
I was not mean
Gonna
to
like
you.
throw
I
her
was
like
joking.
sorry.
Well, and then he goes, I was like, well, I'm heavy, and I've told you that. He's like, well, why do you have to be so heavy then? And I was like, did you just call me fat? We can get into this.
It's fine. I have an elbow
Oh my
for a
god,
husband.
an elbow.
An elbow?
Okay, when we got married,
What the fuck does that mean?
have you've seen how skinny that dude is?
Oh, so
he's
just
a fucking elbow.
just all bones. Yeah, I mean, you could have just said he's just really bony, but
He's a goddamn elbow. I was listening to this like
the
comedian,
sharpest part of someone's body.
and she's all like, "I have an elbow for a husband." He weighed 125 when we got married.
damn.
That's
He,
pretty
he
small.
just broke 160. I'm like, look at you, Dad bod.
God, I'm over here like trying to get under 200. It's not
He's all
happening.
like trying to like beef up. I'm like, you got it, babe.
Sarah, what do you call an expert fisherman?
Hmm.
A masturbator.
Ah!
That was scary.
It's funny because she doesn't do it.
No, that's what's even better. It's like you're like, what is that?
What's the difference between a G spot and a golf ball, fam?
I don't know because I don't have one.
What? You don't have a
What?
G spot?
Ow.
A guy will actually search for the golf ball.
You know, we've gone over that in our episodes.
They're hard to
That's
find.
awesome.
Why are men like diapers?
They stink.
They're usually full of shit and thankfully disposable.
Well, why I think my eyes are brown.
Because you're full of shit?
Yeah.
Just 99% of the time. All that being said, fam, we appreciate you listening this far. If you'd like to hop on to Instagram and Facebook to give us a follow at Hard Talks with B&H, you can do so. And also hop on and find Hopelessly Romantic on Instagram and Facebook with your guys' handles.
You go for it. You do this.
On Instagram, I think it's hopelessly.unromantic. Facebook, it's just hopelessly unromantic Facebook page.
Okay, cool. And are you on Twitter?
We're on Twitter.
We
Not
cannot
as-
figure out how to work Twitter, so
I
we're not there
don't.
yet.
We're just
I
not
don't
that
know.
active on Twitter, to be honest.
I
with
really,
you.
Twitter
Is that even
makes
a
me
thing?
feel like an 80-year-old lady.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, how does this work? Where do I go?
Yeah.
I even had a listener be like, you don't have a cover photo for your profile on Twitter. I'm like, okay, we'll help a girl out. Send
Like,
some
I don't
written
know how to do that.
instructions. Yeah. All
Do you
right.
want me
Well,
to do
yeah.
that?
yeah, please. Are you on Twitter a
Yeah.
lot?
No, but I can figure it out.
Okay, we'll do
I'll
it.
start tweeting some random ass shit.
You're going to be my Twitter marketer because I don't know how
That's
to post.
one less thing you have to. And then I can also do merch for you too, because I was talking to my sister about it, and we know some people.
We know the people. Yeah, definitely.
But yeah.
Hop on to Apple Pod for Hard Talks as well. Give us that 5-star rating review. Email us, and you'll receive never before seen
The
free merch. Boom.
Might be a hat.
Yeah, you don't want to miss it.
Might
I
be
promise.
some candy. Might be a beanie.
Might be a surprise. We don't even fucking know yet.
It might be a sticker. It might be my panties.
Yeah.
There's a market for used toys.
There's a massive
I'm trying to
market for used
I'm trying to
panties.
sell feed pics, but everyone's like, don't do that. I'm like,
Andy won't let me.
There's vending machines in like Japan and China that sell used panties. Like, vending machines.
Usually with like the porn video, there ain't attached to it.
Yes. And like, because there's this whole thing, like, a woman has a specific scent. I don't know. I have never smelt my own underwear, but I dare you to do it.
go for it.
What the frick?
Do it. I'll masturbate if you smell your own underwear.
She gonna back that ass up right under that spigot in her tub. There you go, friends.
Oh my god.
All that being said, shoot us an email at hardtalkswithbnh. Share some content, perspective, questions, comments, whatever. We just want to hear from you.
Hear it all.
Yes. All that being said, folks, we hope you have a great week.
Bye.
Oh my God. Be kind, be considerate. Don't do anything I wouldn't do.
Which is
Thank you
nothing.
guys for being on.
Yeah, thank
Thanks
you.
for
It was a
having us.
pleasure.
Yeah.
So fun.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye.
So like you. Like, bye.
Glad you bye. Hard talk about them.
Yeah.